Chapter 5, Mishnah 3. The previous Mishnah discussed whether an earthenware pot with a hole in it can block Tumah from going up from one floor to another. This Mishnah discusses the law for an unbroken earthenware pot doing so. In general, an unbroken earthenware utensil certainly combines with the walls or ceiling of a house to block Tumah from entering, as we saw in the previous Mishnah. Our Mishnah considers whether the utensils of an Am Ha'aretz, unlearned person, can do so. Am Ha'aretz were often not careful about the laws of Tumah. Because of this, the rabbis decreed that a Haver, a learned person, should treat an Am Ha'aretz and all his utensils as Tameh. Since they are rabbinically Tameh, the question becomes whether they can block Tumah. For example, when an earthenware pot belonging to an Am Ha'aretz covers the opening in the ceiling between the bottom floor and an upper story, does it block the Tumah in the bottom floor from rising into the upper floor and making everything in it Tameh? We now turn to the words of the Mishnah. If the pot covering the opening was whole, unbroken, and it belonged to an Am Ha'aretz, Beis Hillel say it shields everything in the upper story from becoming Tameh. However, Beis Shammai say it shields only the foods, liquids, and other earthenware utensils in the upper story from Tumah, but it does not shield other kinds of utensils in the upper story, such as wood or metal utensils, from Tumah. Since the Am Ha'aretz's pot is rabbinically tameh, it does not block corpse Tumah from entering the upper story. Nevertheless, Beis Shammai agree that the pot does shield earthenware utensils in the upper story, as well as foods and liquids from becoming tameh. The reason for this leniency is because it is relevant only to an Am Ha'aretz. A Chaver would never use the foods, liquids, or earthenware utensils of an Am Ha'aretz anyway, because they are always tameh to him, and he has no way of making them tahor. Thus, the question of whether these items become tameh with corpse Tumah makes no difference to a Chaver, only to an Am Ha'aretz, to whom these utensils are tahor. Beis Shammai therefore say that the earthenware pot of an Am Ha'aretz shields the foods, liquids, and earthenware utensils in the upper story from corpse Tumah. However, in regard to other kinds of utensils, Beis Shammai say that they are not shielded from the corpse Tumah by the Am Ha'aretz's pot. This is because the Chaver might borrow a wood or metal utensil from an Am Ha'aretz, thinking that it is tameh only with the Tumah of an Am Ha'aretz, which he can easily remove by immersing it in a mikveh before he uses it. He might not realize that it had also become rabbinically tameh to him with corpse Tumah, which cannot be removed simply by immersing it in a mikveh, but also requires sprinkling it with mei chatas. Beis Shammai therefore say that the earthenware pot of an Am Ha'aretz does not shield non-earthenware utensils from corpse Tumah. The Am Ha'aretz who hears this will then make sure that they are properly sprinkled to remove the corpse Tumah, or he will tell the Chaver who borrows them from him that they need to be purified from corpse Tumah. Beis Hillel accepts the view of Beis Shammai, and we now return to the words of the mitzvah. Beis Hillel then retracted their original ruling and began to rule like Beis Shammai.